Hey everyone, and I hope everyone's doing great. And again, thank you for watching. If you haven't yet, definitely subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up, and let me know if you have any questions or comments or ideas and that sort of thing. So, I wanted to talk briefly about crop circles. So, I've always wondered about that kind of thing, and I'll show you some pictures here in case you're not familiar with them. But a while ago, I want to say it was maybe like 30 or 40 years ago, maybe a little bit more, crop circles started showing up, I think, in England first. And people were curious where they came from, and the farmer said, well, it must be from outer space, when there was like a UFO craze going on back then. They admitted later that they did it. Like they were they were drinking and just were, bored and wanted to prove that they could do it or do something fun. So they only came forward because people were saying, oh, you know what, this is impossible. There's no way anybody on Earth can do it. And the funny thing is they did it with, they tied like 2x4s, wooden planks to their feet. And then they just kind of walked in a certain pattern until they created these crop circles, which are basically just patterns when viewed from the sky, look like these massive symbols. And so that's kind of how it began. Now, if you think about it, this is a long time ago, and with drone technology and the ability, what we can do with our phones now is amazing. These are guys with just 2x4s and a couple of beers. If they were able to do this, imagine what people could do now. So throughout the past few decades, crop circles have come up. So I had to ask, and I was asking my spiritual guides, as usual. I was asking, what's the deal with crop circles? Like, are they all hoaxes? 100%. Every single one of them is from earthly origin, from what I was told. Now, a big reason for this, actually, let me show you what some of these crop circles look like. First of all, they are amazing. Some of them really beautiful to look at, but I'll show you. Okay, so here's the two guys I was talking about. You can actually look them up, and here's the boards that they use to kind of walk on. See, and they show down here how they stepped on them. It was a real basic process, and they have some articles in here. Here's the one in the New York Times, and they explains how they sat down and kind of mapped it out and drew out the pattern, and then went ahead and did it. So it's a really simple process. Here's another picture of a crop circle here. And we can see here's another interesting one in the Smithsonian Magazine, but talks about the art of the hoax, it says, and how now a lot of them haven't been proven to be hoaxes. But there are people who, like these, I think these are the original guys back then in the 70s here. They created crop circle, and here's some more crop circles here. There's even some companies that do these things specifically, like for advertising. Here's an image of them actually planning this out. The original guys who made the crop circles. There's the guy there. That's pretty great. It's pretty creative. Here's some guys here. It says they're actually circlemakers.com. They create these for like advertising and that kind of thing. So it's real easy to do, and nothing, of course, has been proven about their origin, and enough people have really stepped forward and showed how to do them quite easily to make these very, even without further proof, very, there's a lot of speculation, as far as them being valid or coming from an alien species. Now here's some more intricate designs. Some of these are really cool. You can see, like I was saying too, like with drone technology these days, you can get a good shot. See this one right here. This is what the original one looked like back in '76, I think. The ones that those two guys did. So, and you can see even back then, look at how Pretty much perfect they look, even with just a couple of boards. So see, some of these are just awesome. I mean, look at how intricate. Some of these are very basic. I was going to say, I don't know if this is real, but it looks like it is. I think they use paint to complete that one from the looks of it. But even without them, like, see this here? It's just really cool, the geometric patterns and everything like that. So anyways, you can research it some more. And I think this is the Fibonacci sequence here, actually, which is really cool. I took a class on it a long time ago. God, like 20 years ago, I think. But they talk about it in that movie, the Da Vinci Code, I think. So if you take 1 and plus 1, you take 1 plus 2 equals 3, and then you take 3 plus 2 equals 5, and 5 plus 3 equals 8. So you always take the number right prior and then add it to the next number and continue that pattern. Something like that. You'll have to look that up, but that's basically it. And if you map that out X, Y, Z, so in other words, vertically, horizontally, and then depth being the third dimension, it actually creates an ever-largening spiral pattern, just like this. And you can actually find this in a lot of things, this geometric pattern in a lot of aspects of life. Like this exact pattern is found in conch shells, like in the sea, like seashells that you find. Sunflowers too, if I recall correctly, you can actually see this mathematical pattern in the way, like if you look at the center and follow it out, you can see this exact mathematical pattern. So it's a very logical, it's what they call sacred geometry, and you can find the sort of thing represented, these numbers represented physically in a lot of aspects of life. So anyways, there's some pictures of what these look like. Really cool stuff to look at. So okay, so those are some pictures of crop circles and also some of the information about them. The articles and people involved that you can look up. So, but again, after having some conversations with my spiritual guides again, not a single crop circle has been created by aliens, period. And just to kind of speak to that, like some of the theories, people are saying, well, they could be trying to communicate with us, like speaking the language of geometry, using math and that sort of thing, sacred geometry. They can actually speak English, so there's no need to do that, number one. And there's a real interesting story behind that too. And real quick on a side note, like if you watch videos with there's some very prominent government defectors that talk about their time in the government working in secret UFO programs. There's a lot, actually, more and more. Bob Lazar is one who came out a long time ago, decades ago, with a lot of this information originally from Area 51. And Dr. Stephen Greer is another one. And there's a lot of people from different governments, too, that are coming out more and more with this sort of information. Even the U.S. government is being more forthcoming with, their recognition of UFOs and that sort of thing. But in those videos, they talk about, they're like, yeah, we are in contact with alien civilizations, and they just kind of, they mention, we were talking to them, and we said this, and they said that. So they can clearly communicate with each other and do it in English. And they are very advanced, but there's a really cool reason behind how they can do that. I'll do that in another video. So yeah, they don't have to communicate with us. They can do that quite easily. Number two, they're actually extremely intelligent, really old, far older. There's a whole bunch of planets out there, like a federation of planets that are all very highly advanced and evolved and watching over this area of the universe, actually. So they wouldn't just come and damage our food source in order to send us a message when they could speak English. So they're actually very careful about not contacting us. But now that we're finally making our way into outer space, and we've evolved to a certain point, now they are more open to contacting us and are more visible in our skies. And you can see that too in the news, which is interesting. So that being said, yeah, they're just too smart and wouldn't have to do that in order to communicate with us. So that's basically it. That's all I wanted to share. So crop circles, fascinating idea, really cool, but just not real at all. Those are the reasons why, and cool stuff. Thank you for watching. I thought it was cool to share. So if you have any questions or thoughts or ideas, let me know. I'd love to do a video about them. And, a lot of this I'm learning as I'm going too, so I think it's great to kind of share it and have this kind of forum to communicate. So once again, it's much appreciated. So thank you, and please take care, and we'll see you later.